What's this?
What?
This car. Stupid car.
So with the Tahoe Limited, I thought for the longest time that it was just a styling package upgrade. And obviously you got the front end that's all blacked out, you got color matched on everything, some upgraded wheels, a nice two-tone leather interior. But the biggest difference on this, aside from the styling, is the police package. And what that means is this is basically what all the guys in the LAPD and Highway Patrol, this is what they wrote in.
It's an old Mount Prospect police car. They were practically giving them away.
This is actually a little bit better handling on the suspension. It's lowered actually 1 inch in the front, ½ an inch in the rear, and it's got updated sway bars.
It's got cop tires, cop suspension, cop shocks.
Upgraded brakes, an oil cooler, transmission cooler.
Time to start looking in your mirror for something taller in black and white or blue.
Kind of already dropped a little bit, but not nearly enough for what we need to do. So we teamed up with Belltech Suspension and Summit Racing for their Moog replacement parts, and we brought it up here to the OBS headquarters. You obviously got the tribute truck. You did with Belltech a couple years ago. It was out at SEMA. We followed the whole thing in OBS Clash. We're kind of not going as radical on the drop kit as you did on that, because that's a 5.7. 5.7, yeah. So we're just keeping it a little bit mild.
Well, this is actually going to be a little simpler with this drop because there's less parts that we have to install. And the one thing about these trucks that's interesting now is that back in the day when we were dropping them, they were brand new trucks. So we didn't have to do any maintenance. But you're going to see on this job that Summit Racing provided some Moog suspension parts that need to be replaced.
Yeah, we got the whole assembled upper control arms, lower control arms. That's got the bushings, the ball joints. We also got some outer steering rod ends, tie rods. So that way, this thing's going to ride like a Cadillac. Well, it's going to ride like a Denali. I mean, that's basically kind of what this was back in the day. It was a luxury SUV.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Cool.
Yeah, now that there's no weight on the control arm, it's down low enough that I can't get the bolt out of the ABS sensor clip. So we'll jack it back up a little bit. The nice thing is nothing's rusty. Ooh, lower ball joint, boots ripped.
Good thing we're replacing it.
Love California cars.
Just nice.
Nothing better. All right. To avoid personal injury, do not light on fire. There we go. Perfect. There it is. One control arm. How can you go wrong? It still has the CAD plating on it. And that bolt didn't get WD-40. That's just whoop. Love it. Okay, now I jinxed myself because the upper is probably going to give me a hard time. So let's do the upper. Look at that. Hand. God, it's so nice. It's almost spin that off my hand if it was a little closer to me.
The rear shock was the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like, it was just like a click.
I think we should just zip tie it back together.
Come on, Finnegan.
At least it held together.
Well, it doesn't look like it's been monkeyed with. Everything looks original and legit. It's a really nice truck.
We're gonna clean things up by scrubbing off all the old dirt, grease, and grime and spray everything in a nice satin black finish.
We hit up Summit Racing to get these Moog replacement upper arms. We also got the lower arms as well. When you really look at it, I mean, obviously the ball joint boots were kind of blown out on this. The bushings are obviously rubber. They're a little bit worn from 20 years of being on the truck. Pretty simple. When you look at it, you got brand new ball joints pressed in. You've got brand new bushings already pressed in. You don't have to worry about replacing these. And the simple fact is you're going to be spending a couple hours getting these ball joints out, getting the bushings out, pressing new ones in, and for maybe about $30, $40 more, you're going to have a brand new set already ready to go that you just got to bolt in.
For the first 2 inches of drop, we're installing Belltech's Pro Coil Spring. This coil spring could actually convert to a 3-inch drop if we need it.
pretty clear to see the differences between the Belltech drop spindle and the factory spindle. The pins are about 2 inches higher than the factory. That's going to give you your 2-inch drop. You can also tell it's made a little bit beefier. You got a lot more material around the pin, and this is what's going to give us our 2-inch drop in the front. Now with the Tahoe Limited, it did come with upgraded shocks. It's got these, well, I don't know if we're mentioning any names on it, but you can kind of tell from the color. And it's nice performance shock, but they've been on there for 23, maybe 24 years. And so, especially when you're doing a drop kit, you're gonna need to change the length of the shocks. You're gonna be needing a shorter shock because you got obviously a little bit less travel going on. So this is Belltech Street Performance shock, and it's gonna give a nice comfortable ride, but also be good and responsive when going over bumps or coming around corners, for a little bit of extra handling.
As we're installing all new fresh suspension parts, we're installing a whole new set of brakes as well. Now, of course, anyone knows GMT 400 brakes, they don't come with the bearings all packed in, so you're gonna have to heavily grease them up and install them yourself. Here's a little tip that Mark had, using some tape on the tie rods to make sure that the new ones were installed in exactly the same distance, to get it as close as we can before alignment.
Belltech includes all of the additional hardware that you're going to need. Obviously, we use a lot of the factory bolts. We're getting cleaned up. Mark's kind of cleaning them up over there. And this comes with factory sway bars. Even with the Tahoe Limited, they are upgraded Suburban, I think, off-road sway bars. So they're a little bit heavier duty, but not nearly as much as this.
Being this is an SUV, it's a little bit top heavy. So having the sway bar on here upgraded is going to definitely help with some of the body roll and cornering and handling. With the front all finished up with a 4-inch drop, we're going to be doing the same on the rear.